Hey everybody, I'm Joe DeGanzik, and Smarter Home Life is back with some quick tips on making it a little bit easier, more natural, and maybe a little bit more fun to control your smart home through those smart speakers, virtual assistants, whatever the heck we want to call them. But the problem is, specifically with the smart home, once you start collecting a bunch of these devices and lights and doorbells and all these things, you forget what you called them. And if you set up scenes, a whole bunch of those, maybe you forget what you called them, and maybe you have to talk to your smart home through these speakers if you don't want to use buttons or apps in kind of a weird, non-traditional way, like just with code words, and if you don't say it, then it gets frustrating, or you may have to even talk like Yoda, kind of backwards perhaps. The blue 10% light set the living room to, right? It's not the way that we talk, at least. It's not natural. So how do you make it natural? Well, both platforms, I'm just going to mainly focus on Amazon and Google this time. They've both introduced relatively recently a feature that can help that out. And I'll explain further after this important message.
This video program may inadvertently activate your smart speaker or virtual assistant. Smarter Home Life apologizes for, but will not be held liable for any potentially catastrophic events that may occur due to the viewing of this program. Thank you for your cooperation.
Both platforms have introduced something called routines relatively recently. Now, I'm going to go into routines more in depth in a future video, but for now, they do help us with this problem of what do you call things and make it simpler. Call it something that you can remember and no extra code words. You just generally assign the name or phrase to a routine and you're good to go. As long as you can remember it, you're all set. Routines, by the way, help you with doing multiple tasks at once, generally for things like getting up in the morning, going to sleep, leaving, coming home, and they do basically similar things on both platforms. Google lets you go a little bit further with the customization of the names, even though you've got not as many options for the routines themselves and what they can do. But instead of just assigning one thing, or a word or a phrase to run a specific routine on the Google Assistant side of things, you can assign a few of them, which means that as long as you remember one of the phrases that you assigned, you're good to go. If we want to get into a little bit more customization and a little bit more fun, we can pair the Google Assistant with something like IFTTT, or IFT for short, and go a little bit further. IFT is a free service on the web and available as a mobile app that lets you mix and match devices and services from smart home stuff to email, text messaging, weather, and much, much more. And sometimes you can do more with IFT than you could accomplish with the individual devices or services on their own. So you would create an IFT account and then link your various services and devices to it. Then you can set up the if to trigger the that to occur. If I use Google Assistant as the if, you'll see that I can use 3 different words or phrases to trigger the action. And I can also customize what the assistant will say in response, instead of the normal boring okay or sure I'll take care of that for you. You can get as creative as you like and have some fun with this. Hey Google, set the fan to medium.
Ceiling fan medium rare.
How embarrassing. How embarrassing.
Make your voice control for your smart home. Make it useful, make it more natural, make it work for you, not the other way around, and make it fun. Okay, so speaking of fun, it is of course Friday, May the 4th, 2018. Many of you will recognize that as Star Wars Day. Let's ask the top 4 virtual assistants or smart speakers or whatever what they think of May the 4th be with you.
I pulled up some images for you.
And may the Force be with you, always.
I feel more like a droid than a Jedi.
Who? Me?
Well, I think hands down Google wins it, right? Well, let me know what you think in the comments. To wrap things up, of course, if you've got smart home and even LED lighting questions, I am here to help. So head over to smarterhomehelp.com and send them in. The best and most interesting ones usually wind up on the monthly Q&A episodes that will resume later this month. And even if you've got complicated question or a big smart home or big home renovation project, you can even set up a dedicated consulting session with me at that site as well. Otherwise, take a little bit of time, make your home just a little bit smarter every single day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.